Hello everyone, hope you're having an amazing day. But get ready, because today's episode is not the peaceful love story you're expecting. When Alex innocently mentions one small detail about his upcoming plans, he has no idea he's about to trigger the darkest version of two people he once trusted. Mai, who just days ago begged Min to stop, suddenly transforms the moment she smells money. And Min, he's ready to drag them both straight into chaos. The question is, what would you do if the people smiling beside you were secretly sharpening the knife behind your back? Tell me your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss what happens next. If someone had told Alex that his quiet morning would turn into a day filled with betrayal, manipulation, and the rise of two of the sneakiest people in his life, he would have laughed. But that was before everything flipped, before the masks came off and the truth came crawling out of the shadows. Because today, the biggest danger Alex faced wasn't from strangers, wasn't from competition. It was from Min and Mai, the smiling duo who pretended to care while plotting behind his back. And unbelievably, the entire chain reaction began with one single sentence Alex didn't even think twice about. Alex was taking a quick call outside his building, saying something simple about preparing for a big upcoming deal. Nothing specific, nothing dramatic. But a few meters away, Mai froze mid-step. Her eyes widened, her mind raced, and the greed she had tried to push down for days suddenly roared back. Just a few days earlier, she had told Min to stop. Alex is starting to notice things, she had insisted nervously. We should quit before it gets dangerous. Min had laughed at her concerns. Mai insisted again. She said she wanted out. She didn't want to go further. But that was before hearing that Alex might be signing something big, something valuable, something that could solve all her problems if she played her cards right. Now, her hesitation evaporated like it never existed. She turned slowly, a calculating smile forming on her lips, and pulled out her phone. Mai. He's preparing something huge, bigger than before. Min. Perfect. This time, don't back out. Mai stared at the message, guilt flickering briefly, but greed flickered stronger. Just one last time, just enough to secure her future. That's what she told herself. While Mai chased her new spark of greed, Alex headed out of town for a routine check. He felt tired, but peaceful. The kind of peacefulness only someone who has no idea he is being targeted could feel. Back near his home, Mai made her next move. She arrived at Alex's mother's house holding a chic gift bag, fancy ribbons, expensive wrapping, the whole show. Her smile was so sweet it could have given anyone a toothache. "Auntie, it's been a long time since I visited," she said gently, as Alex's mother welcomed her inside. They sat down with warm tea. For the first few minutes, Mai acted like the perfect polite guest, soft voice, shy smiles, innocent eyes. But then, the real reason she came slipped out like poison. "Auntie," Mai began, lowering her voice, "I'm worried about Alex. I think someone close to him might be hurting him." Alex's mother stiffened. "Who?" Mai pretended to hesitate, only to make the lie more convincing. "I shouldn't even say this, but people are whispering about Lan, his secretary, that she caused a huge loss for Alex, and maybe kept something for herself." Alex's mother's face changed immediately. Concern, confusion, even a hint of fear. Mai leaned closer, as if she were sharing a painful truth. I only told you because I'm scared he'll trust the wrong person again. But please, don't tell him I said this. He doesn't trust me like before." The manipulation was perfect, clean, sharp, cruel. The moment she stepped outside the gate, her expression switched to satisfaction as she texted Min. "My. His mother doubts Lan now. Min. Good. The more confused he becomes, the easier he is to fool." For a moment, guilt tugged at Mai's chest again. But then she remembered Alex's big upcoming deal. The money, the opportunity, and her guilt disappeared instantly. Meanwhile, Alex arrived at the one place where his heart finally felt at ease. Lytuna's home. He saw her kneeling in the garden, hands in the soil, sunlight brushing across her face. She looked up at him with pure warmth. "You're home early," she said with a bright smile. Alex tried to look casual, but the relief in his eyes exposed him immediately. "Yeah, I needed a break. From everything." Lytuna laughed softly. "Then help me with these plants. I promise it's cheaper than therapy." He chuckled and took the small gardening tool from her. And just like that, the world felt lighter. They planted seedlings together. She teased him for making crooked rows. He teased her for acting like a bossy farmer. She splashed water on him. He splashed back. For a moment, there was no stress, no betrayal, just two people enjoying each other's presence. Later, they shared dinner. Simple, warm, comforting. The kind of dinner that made life feel easy. Alex looked at her with a softness he hadn't shown anyone else. "I don't know how to explain it," he said, "but when I'm with you and Henry, every worry disappears." Lytuna's smile deepened. "You don't have to face everything alone." Alex hesitated, then whispered the words he'd wanted to say for weeks. "Thank you for being in my life." Her cheeks flushed lightly. "I love you," she replied. Alex's ears turned red, and he laughed awkwardly before whispering it back. For a moment, the world felt perfect, peaceful, safe. But the audience knew something Alex didn't. While he was relaxing in the warmth of people who truly cared for him, Mai and Min were sharpening their knives. They were waiting, watching, preparing. And the night Alex left that warm home was the night their plan quietly moved to its next phase. The night was colder than usual when Alex finally stepped outside to leave. Lytuna wrapped a soft scarf around his neck and fussed over him like someone who cared far too much and never admitted it out loud. "Drive slowly. It's late," she said. Alex smiled. "If I don't come back next weekend, you're allowed to come drag me home." She laughed, shaking her head. "Go before I actually do it." Alex walked toward his car, waving at her one last time. He didn't notice how her eyes lingered on him, just long enough to make the goodbye feel heavier than usual. He didn't know why her heart felt uneasy, but the audience did. Because while Alex drove away feeling peaceful, someone else was wide awake, scheming. Someone named Mai. She was sitting in her living room, phone turned over and over in her hands. Her face was pale, her fingers trembling, but her eyes, those eyes, held a restless hunger. She kept replaying the same thought. Alex is preparing something big. This is the moment. A few days ago, when she told Min to stop, she actually meant it. The fear in her chest had been real. But now, that fear was wrestling against something much stronger. Greed. She bit her lip, staring at her phone. Should she message Min first? Should she pretend hesitation? Should she ask for reassurance? Before she could decide, her phone buzzed. "Min, he left home yet?" Mai, "Yes, just now." Min, "Good. Step 2 begins tonight." Mai's heart dropped. Step 2. She didn't even want to know what that meant. For a moment, a very brief one, she felt regret. Just a whisper. Maybe this is too far. Maybe Alex doesn't deserve this. Maybe she should stop before things get worse. But then she remembered the big contract, the money, the chance to finally become someone important. Her conscience shrank. Her greed stood tall. She typed back, "Mai, tell me exactly what I need to do." Min's reply came instantly. "Min, tomorrow you get close to him. He'll be exhausted, vulnerable. That's when you move." Mai, "Move how?" Min, "You'll know. Just don't mess this up." Mai felt sick, but she also felt excited. And that was the scariest part. Meanwhile, Alex had no idea any of this was brewing. He was just driving through the quiet night, windows slightly cracked, the air cool against his face. He replayed Tuna's smile in his mind and felt warm inside despite the freezing air. He didn't notice the vehicle that turned onto the road behind him. He didn't see the faint headlights following at a careful distance. He didn't know he was being watched. Not yet. All he knew was that he needed to get back early tomorrow for a big day. What he didn't know was that tomorrow would not go the way he planned. Back in town, Min stood outside a dim convenience store, pacing like a trapped wolf. He looked furious, impatient, and terrified all at once. But mostly, desperate. He typed another message to Mai. "Min, and listen, don't start panicking again. You backed out once, not this time." Mai, "I didn't back out." Min, "You hesitated. Same thing. If you freeze again tomorrow, everything will fall apart." Mai clenched her jaw. "I said I won't," she muttered aloud. She hated that Min could read her so easily. She hated even more that he wasn't wrong. But she hated one thing above all, the idea of walking away empty-handed. As Alex parked his car in front of his place, he stretched, grabbed his bag, and stepped out. The night was still, almost unnervingly quiet. But he didn't sense danger. He didn't sense manipulation crawling closer. He just felt tired, emotionally, mentally, physically. Inside his apartment, he poured himself a glass of water, checked his phone, and sat down on the couch. Then, in the stillness of the night, something hit him. Why did today feel strange? Mai visiting his mother? The oddly timed phone calls? Little moments that hadn't meant anything then. Now they lingered. A faint uneasiness crept up his spine, but he shook it off quickly. He always overthought things when he was tired. He had no idea his instincts were trying to warn him. Across town, Mai couldn't sleep. She paced in circles around her living room, rehearsing lines in her head like an actress preparing for the role of her life. "Alex, are you okay? You seem stressed." "Alex, I'm here if you need someone to talk to." "Alex, you can trust me." She practiced each sentence with different tones: concerned, gentle, wounded, sympathetic. She was preparing for a performance with a very valuable prize. And the worst part? She was good at it. She stopped, took a deep breath, and looked at herself in the mirror. "You can do this," she told her reflection. "Just be smart." But the mirror wasn't kind. It reflected exactly what she didn't want to admit. She looked like a villain, one who hadn't even realized how far she'd fallen. The clock ticked closer to midnight. Alex, lying in bed, finally drifted to sleep, completely unaware that tomorrow he would wake up into a world where nothing was as it seemed. Mai, wide awake, whispered to herself, "Tomorrow, everything changes." And Min, far away but equally restless, muttered, "It's finally time." The trap wasn't closing, it was already closed. Alex just hadn't noticed it yet. Alex starts his day unaware that one careless sentence about an upcoming opportunity has just reignited Mai's greed. Only days ago she begged Min to stop their scheme, terrified Alex was catching on. But the moment she hears he's preparing something big, she flips instantly, choosing money over morality. Min, desperate and manipulative, pushes her deeper into their plan as they quietly chip away at Alex's trust and circle closer to him. Mai visits Alex's mother with a fake smile and a gift bag, planting lies about Lan to isolate Alex even further. Meanwhile, Alex seeks comfort with Lytuna, feeling safe and loved, completely unaware he's walking straight into a trap. As he drives away that night, thinking tomorrow will be normal, Min and Mai prepare to strike. Alex doesn't know it yet, but the betrayal has already begun.